flat. If you're scared, go to church and get a scripture tag.
With the demonization of sexuality, being over sexualized as Black women in general, like you said, you could wear the loosest of clothes and yet and still you attract this energy from men that you didn't even want. And I can speak to being young in the church. I became an adult, and these same people who were adults when I was 12 are sliding in my inbox asking, very inappropriate things. And it's like, okay, I know for a fact as a child, because my mama dressed me before we went to church, that I didn't look no type of way that was seductive or enticing. So that the perversion is on you, sir. Like, and I think a lot of times in church spaces, if someone is deemed like a Jezebel or whatever the case may be, over sexualized, whether she did have a baby out of wedlock or something came out about her on the internet, it's so much pressure and emphasis on what she did. But it's like, one, she didn't do it by herself. Secondly,
Absolutely.
What was the approach like? Was it coercion? Was it someone in the church who's been sexually harassing her for X amount of time, or whatever the case may be? Because it's 100% minding your business. You didn't ask for this attention, and also being a child. Of course you didn't. So the labeling of young girls in churches too, oh, she's fast. I think a lot of that I've heard from church mothers, not necessarily towards me, but other youth in a church. I'm like, I mean, all because she walked past you and
the
she
moment
has
you
hips
speak
and
up about
curves.
you're rebellious,
You're
or
rebellious, you're disrespectful.
you got the devil in you, baby. Let me tell you something. No, this is a God in me being bold enough to stand up to you, because what we're not going to do is play with me. Okay, I am a firm believer, and I believe the parents, like, we have to, and we know our children, right?
Yes.
We know the ones that's gonna be lying. You can tell when they lying. But you have to ask those questions. I need to understand, because every time them boys get up out of children's church, how was children's church? What was going on? Who was in there? As soon as them kids get in the car from school, what happened today? Tell me, what did little Marcus do today? I need to know, because if anything happens, I'm going to say I'm aware, because I was a safe space for my children, right? I go to the basketball games. I know every kid name, because why? My kids tell me about it. I go up in the school. Hey, Tyson's mom. Hey, Taj's mom. Why? Because I'm in there. I'm walking through the mall. One of the girls came up and gave me a hug. Baby, I don't even know who you are, but clearly you know me.
Know who I am.
Because I'm present. I'm there. I'm a safe space. I'm in their business. So I know, when I tell you I know all them kids' names, I'm sure when my baby's in the car today, they're going to be like, so mom, let me tell you what. I knew he was going to have a rough day after yesterday. So keep telling me. Baby, I need to know everything.
I like that, creating a safe space. And I think, especially my mom, she wanted to have a safe space with me. And, I give a lot of credit and love to my mom all the time. However, being in a very also both of my parents are also ex-military, so let's add that to the mix too. But having veteran parents, my mom's a Chicago public school teacher herself. My dad was a fireman, and we're Baptist. Like, my house had a lot of order, and with that, I think it can be a little rigid, because it's like, ooh, like, I don't want to piss them off.
Tell you all of this.
Like, I'm not sure if I can talk to them about certain things. So I like that, even other kids come up to you, because you're making yourself not a safe space just for your children. But if something were to happen, okay, Taj's mom is probably a safe space. Tyson's mom's a great space, or, the women that you have in your church. So creating those safe spaces it's just amazing that you're doing that. I think it's so crucial to have the conversations about sexuality without judging, and you fast, you this, like.
Absolutely, because we all been there. And I'm like, baby, tell me what happened. What did he say? He lied to you. Don't believe it. Somebody told me that, baby. Don't listen to that. You're the only one. Okay. Yeah. How many other women did he tell that to?
And then also too, through my research, I had two participants in particular. They spoke about how religion impacted their household, and they weren't allowed to really talk about sex. But these are also two individuals who were sexually abused by family members. So using religion as a weapon to control children, because they were children when it happened. So whether it's male, female, children, like, can you speak on your experience far as um, creating a dialogue where young adults don't see religion as this scary thing where they can't talk about certain things like, oh, God's gonna be mad at me, but then here's someone abusing me, but it's like, honor thy mother and thy father, but the father is the one who's hurting me.
Mhm.
Oh my God, I'm confused. Like, how would you just kind of navigate a conversation with someone who's dealing with that?
So I think it's all about that safe space, right?
Okay.
So being in a family full of women, my grandmother had all daughters, right? And I will say, all my cousins, we are all totally different people.
Hmm.
Recently, within the last year, and this is one of my cousins that I'm like close with. She was telling me that she was abused, and I'm like, ah, who, when, where was I at, right?
Right.
And she didn't say anything. Now we are about to be 36 years old this year, and she didn't say anything. And she was like, well, you weren't with us. You weren't outside with us. Okay, so did you tell anybody? How do they know if they, and how could they help if they don't know, right? So
True.
my concern with that is, did they create that space for us? I've watched my great grandfather, he lived with me, well, with
Hmm.
us, and then my grandmother lived with us. So I had four generations in a house,
Hmm.
and I watched how everybody interacted. So my grandfather and my grandmother, well, my great grandfather and my grandmother, they were very back and forth, back and
Mm.
forth. You this, you that. But my granddaddy would do anything for my grandmother. Then I
Right.
watched my grandmother and my mother's relationship, right? To this day, my grandmother is still there. Every single morning, I'm calling them, well, calling my mom before I'm dropping off the boys at school, and hit for tat. Like, I hear my mama, now watch her.
Yeah.
She wants she wants the TV on. Why she can't cut the TV on herself, right? Girl, 83, 84 years old. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But this is every day. But then when my mother and I are on the phone, it's, oh, I love you. We
Hmm.
shifted that culture, and it did not shift while I was in the house. It shifted once I left, right? When I went away to
Hmm.
college, I'm like, I don't got nobody else I can trust. I don't have nobody else that I can really talk to. So my relationship between my mother, and I'm gonna say this, and the rest of my aunties, they already be mad because I've been saying this my whole life. But my favorite auntie, I told you my grandma had all the daughters. So my favorite auntie, my
Oh,
relationship
yeah.
with my mother and my favorite auntie, it shifted when I went away to college, because now I'm not in Chicago. I'm in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I'm
Hmm.
free. Y'all don't know what I'm doing unless I tell you. And so now you got to treat me not like I'm a child, but like I'm an adult. So, hey, what's going on? How you feeling? How's your boyfriend? Oh, because when I was in high school, baby, we ain't had no boyfriends. We had friends.
Hmm.
No matter
Yeah.
how
Yellow
long,
friend.
right? No matter how long we've been together, how many times he over here, when I'm out, it's, how your friend doing? You
Hmm.
know what's this? So when I got away to college, it's, what you doing? How you feel? You need a condom? Are you on birth control? And I'm like, okay. So it shifted because they didn't have a choice at
Hmm.
that moment, but they had to create that safe space, because I left home at 17. All I knew was, I know y'all, but I know how y'all gonna respond to certain instances. So I'm
Yep.
like, yeah, I went out. How you feel about that? So I'm giving you little bits and pieces, but I'm watching your response. I'm watching how you respond to situation. Okay, yeah, I went out, somebody broke in my car, but I need money to get my window fixed. Is she about to go crazy, or am I
Right.
getting a great response? Okay, are you safe? Let's figure this out. Put this over your window. This, so now I can open up the conversation. Yeah, I got pregnant. What do I do? Or I'm
Hmm.
having sex, or he cheated on me. Now,
Hmm.
what do I do? Have you ever been in this situation? Right. So then they start bringing back, because I remember when I was younger and such and such. So then you're starting to hear how those family ties roll in, or why this auntie act this way, or or this person is over here and be in our business like that. So that relationship shifted because it was a culture shift, and a family dynamic shift, because it was no choice. It was no choice. So that's how that relationship kind of shifted in the family and opening up that space.
Yeah. So you got that safe space pretty much in your collegiate life, but who's to say how things will be if you had a safe space at 13 or 12? Like, as I'm learning these hormonal and mental changes and experience and psychological changes, that I like that, having a safe space. I wonder, not just like your own experience, but just moving in society and the generation that's coming up. So Gen Z is already grown, but Alpha, as they're still developing, will they be like, okay, I can just go talk to my mama about this and it's not going to be a problem? Like,
and so my oldest, he came to me last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, and he was like, I got a crush. Which one? Because tell me, baby, which one? And he told me. I'm like, the one that sit on the end of the class. And he like, yeah, why? Because she don't even talk. And he was like, no, she doesn't, but she's nice. Was she so nice? Because she's not talking to you. I'm sitting in the classroom and I thought the girl was mute. But that's what he likes. That's what he likes. So hey,
you're not going to be stressful.
Come on, let me lean in. And when my 5-year-old told me, he was like, I like this one, and this one. Hold on. See, I got two different. Which one do you really like? I like all three of them. So
this Taj, right? The baby.
This Tyson is the baby, right?
Oh, Tyson.
I'm picking him up off the bus stop one day. The little girl, bye Tyson. Come here, wait, give me a hug. How old are you? She in the 2nd grade. My baby in kindergarten. Get back. Get back. See that? But I know.